Pensioners are set to rally outside Parliament today calling for the winter fuel allowance to be restored by the government, while it also faces a potential challenge in the courts.
Yes, two pensioners are taking on the might of the UK and Scottish governments, taking them to court, hoping to reverse the cut, arguing neither followed the law when they brought it in. So let's speak to these two Davids taking on the Goliath of the UK and Scottish governments. They are Flo and Peter Fanning, and they join us from their home in Lanarkshire. A very good morning to you both. Well, my goodness, this is some fight back, Peter. Just tell us what you're doing, because I think most people are angry about the fact that the winter fuel allowance has been taken away so suddenly from pensioners, and you're so angry, you're taking them to court.
Yes, it's all about my background in social work kind of makes me look at Equality Acts and things like that. And I don't think that the government has carried out, certainly Westminster government has not carried out a full equality impact assessment, and the Scottish government's not carried out any assessment whatsoever, which means that decisions have been made without looking at what the impact would be on various pensioners. It's as if they've just drew a line in the sand and the people below qualify for the benefit and they're fine, and people above, no matter if you're a penny or, you know, £100 or whatever above, then you're cut off and you're not deserving.
And Peter, what will the impact be on you and Flo of losing the winter allowance this December? How will that change your behaviour, how you live this winter?
It'll affect my health. I'm anemic. I've also got heart problems and various other stuff, and Flo's diabetic. So heat is really important for me during the winter. And knowing that we're getting into the worst winter for a couple of years, according to forecasters, I'm really frightened that, you know, my health will deteriorate. Because one of the things I don't think's been thought out is the healthy pensioners and how cold weather actually affects them. If I end up in hospital, for instance, the winter fuel payment is £300 per year. If I end up in hospital in intensive care because I take pneumonia or something like that, it's £1,600 a day. There's a big difference there. I'm also concerned that, you know, we're putting pressure on our health service just now. It's kind of stretched to the full. But my main concern is although it's personal, and yes, I would love the 300, I think it's about the pensioners who don't have a voice, who, you know, have lived through COVID or maybe still suffer with COVID or have mental health problems, that don't have anyone to back them. I'm in a lucky position that through my contacts from work and whatever, I've got the backing to challenge this. I've also got the courage to challenge it, which other people might not have. I've got backing from Alex Salmon, who's been creating Govan Law Centre, who's been fantastic. So I've got that support, but there are people out there that don't have that support. And that's the ones that I'm fighting for and bringing it.
Because you're currently a member of that party, the Alba Party in Scotland, and as you say, you know, you're a former union member. You're used to taking on these sorts of fights. Yes. But let's talk to you, Flo, because Peter mentions that he's had a heart attack. He's got heart problems, asthma, suffers from anemia. You suffer from diabetes. You know, these are significant health problems that, of course, affect how you need to look after yourself during the winter. You're in a part of the country where the winters hit harder. If you're unsuccessful and the governments go ahead with this winter fuel payment cut, what sort of changes will you have to make this winter?
Well, I just find it's you're either hating or eating. You can't afford the bills. I mean, the cost of living rise in the shops your groceries are expensive, your electricity and gas are expensive. There's a lot of people out there that are not going to find the money to pay these.
Yeah, it's a big challenge, isn't it? Because, of course, the argument from the government, Peter, is that the state pension is going up. So that's going to cover the loss. But Flo's already pointed out, inflation has meant that prices have gone up. That's why the state pensions had to go up, to cover the fact everything's more expensive.
Yes.
It is.
When I was working, I was encouraged to join a pension fund to save for my old age, retirement, so that I would have a quality of life. It now seems that the government's punishing me for having that pension and taking things off. I mean, during the winter, Florence and myself would make soup maybe twice, up to 3 times a week. And the grandkids would come and visit us. We're actually frightened to put the cooker on just now. You know, we don't know what's going to happen. And I think the worst about it, Kate, is that, you know, the government, the Westminster government is saying they're worse to come. And we know that there's a bad winter coming. Yeah. So where is it going to end? What is this, you know, worse to come? If tax, because I'm taxed on my pension fund as well. I was taxed when I earned it. I was taxed when I got my lump sum. I'm taxed on my monthly income. And now I'm being said, well, you're not a deserving person. Yes. And I think there are thousands like me, hundreds of thousands like me, that don't have a chance to voice their opinion. And hopefully we can, you know, get this into court and get it overturned until at least an assessment's done about what the impact's going to be in these vulnerable people.
Peter, of course, you don't want to have to do this through the courts, do you? You want the government to listen. If Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, is listening to our programme right now, what would you say to her she should do now to sort this out?
I think there's got to be a backtrack and totally think out the whole thing. Pensioners are people who plan ahead. I don't know any pensioner that doesn't plan ahead. You plan ahead for people's birthdays, for Christmas, for your winter fuel, for all those things. That's what pensioners do because they know they're on a limited fund. That choice has been taken away from those pensioners because everyone was expecting, yeah, I've got £300, I don't need to worry about my winter bill. And all of a sudden, that £300 has disappeared out of everybody's now there. To say that some people are deserving and other people are not, without actually carrying out an assessment, to me is ludicrous. It's also an injustice, and that's why I'm fighting it.
Peter and Flo...
I think they've got to reconsider.
Yeah, well, I can imagine there's a lot of people watching who will be 100% behind you. Peter and Flo Fanning, thank you so much. Trying to launch a judicial review of that decision to take away the winter fuel payment. Thank you both very much indeed. Good to see you this morning. It's such an... I mean, they speak so well about it. It's an absolutely invidious situation because as he says, he's invested in a private pension or a company pension. It's just taken him a couple of pounds a week over the means-tested threshold. So he loses out on what has become a benefit, a means-tested benefit. But he was told all his life, you know, invest in the pension so that, you know, you can support yourself, work hard so you can support yourself.
And as he said, pensioners plan ahead, and they knew inflation had been high, but the basic pension was going up because of the triple lock, which was in the manifestos of all the parties. Yep. And the problem is, late in the day, to find out that money you were expecting... Yeah, hundreds of pounds. They're going to heat their home less this winter. I know, and then they said they might not be able to invite the grandchildren over as well. You know, you know, we'll keep across what's happening with Peter and Flo and their judicial review of that decision.